Hi there, this is a teaching coming to you from the Training Place of Excellence, and we're looking at payroll calculations and the journals that you would need to post in processing your payroll. When we talk about payroll journals, we're literally saying that there may be an organization that is running the payroll for their staff members, and if they run the payroll, obviously that will be an expense to the organization. It will also accrue liabilities. And in order to process the transactions that will arise, you will need to be clear as to the different classifications of costs. So you have your expenses that will arise because, of course, you have to pay staff members. That's cost to the business. Concurrently, you would also have liabilities accruing at the same time. Liabilities will be what you owe to the employees and what you owe to the outside bodies. And what you owe to the employees will be their net wages. Net wages will be owed to the employees, and we call it net wages. That is to say, you will have your gross wage, and from that gross wage you're paying the staff member, you have to deduct national insurance, you have to deduct income tax, you also have to deduct employees' pension. Take a look at this. When you have those deductions made, it doesn't belong to the company or the organization, the employer. No, it belongs to the outside bodies. So it implies those monies that are deducted from the staff members need to be paid to the outside bodies, and that will include the pension amounts payable to pension providers, national insurance and income taxes payable to HMRC, and that will be a liability. Then other deductions such as trade union subscription fees, which may have been deducted from staff members, and you need to pay that to the relevant organization. So if you deduct trade union fees from your staff members, you are going to deduct it, and then it is supposed to be paid to the relevant trade union organization. The same thing with subscriptions and any other deductions that may have been made, as long as there are deductions deducted on behalf of the staff members that need to be paid to external bodies, and those are classed as other deductions in a whole or as a whole amount, as opposed to dividing the different deductions to the different organizations. So we just class it together as other deductions for the cost of your AAT program. Let's look at a question. It says to us, Queen's Services pay their employees through the PAYE system by BACS transfer every month. A summary of last month's payroll transactions is shown below, and you have a list of different amounts for different items. It then says to you, record the journal entry needed in the general ledger to record the wages liability. The wages liability, you need to be clear, what is it made up of? And from my table above, that will be made up of your gross wages, your employer's NI, and your employer's pension. So we have, what is my wages liability? You will get your employer's NI, you will get your employer's pension, you will get your gross wages added together. That will determine the total amount that the company will incur as a result of this month's payroll. So you'll be expected to pick up the relevant figures. That will be 190,100 plus the employer's NI plus the employer's pension. Those are additional costs that the company will incur in addition to the gross wages, and that will all together be posted into a journal. So I'm just going to drop in the amount straight away in there. what accounts will be affected? Remember, your wages expense account picks up all the amount that is due to the company or due as cost to the company. Wage expense will be debited and wages control account will be credited. That signifies the liability that the company has incurred as a result of running the payroll. You also have to bear in mind that we have to pay HMRC some money on behalf of the staff members, and that will be represented by the employees NI, employers NI, and the income tax. That will make up what should be paid to HMRC, and you will literally find that that will represent the HMRC liability. So if they had asked me what is payable to HMRC, that will be your employers NI, employees NI, and income tax. All of those three items will be payable to HMRC. And if they also ask you to set out a journal for that, that would also mean that you will debit your wages control account and you will credit your HMRC account, and that will be debited and credited with the total amount. And if we add those three figures together, I expect that to give us 62,934. And that establishes your liability to HMRC. Then you also have the pension company. You may have to establish the liability to the pension company. The pension company will be paid those two elements. I will use a different color to represent that. Those two, employees' pension and employers' pension, will be paid to the pension company. So you have pension liability established with a journal. You'll be debiting wages control with the total, and you will credit your pension fund account with the same amount. And the only other thing you have there is your other deductions. To establish the liability for that, you will do a debit to wages control account of the amount, which is a single amount in there, and you will credit other deductions with the same amount as well. So it's important to be clear with what element goes to HMRC, and that is employees NI, employers NI, and then income tax. And then establish what is the liability to pension company, the employees pension, employers pension. What is the liability to the other deductions or the companies that you need to pay? That will be trade unions, subscription fees, childcare fees, any of the deductions that are deducted will be classified together as other deductions, and this establishes the liability. The next thing, of course, is to pay what you owe. You pay the staff members, you pay the pension company, you pay HMRC, and you pay other deductions. Anything that has to do with payment, you have to credit the bank account and then debit the relevant corresponding entry account. Again, I say, when you have to pay, you will credit your bank and you will debit the relevant account or corresponding account. If you are paying pension, for example, you will credit bank and you will debit pension. If you're paying HMRC, you will credit bank and you will debit your HMRC account. I hope this has been useful. Please follow us on all our social media platforms and hit the subscribe button if this has been useful to you. Adios and keep studying. See you later.